So obviously, you guys decided to suspend your contract with Flock Safety. Could you elaborate a little bit on why that decision was made, and why specifically it was made today?
Yeah, so for the sheriff's office, we started the process quite a bit further or quite a bit later than Eugene and Springfield. And originally, the idea behind the ALPR system is to have a countywide system. We work very closely with our agency partners on many different cases that cross out into the county or county cases that come into the city. And for the time that the flock system was in operation, there were several murder suspects that were captured. Two of, at least for the county, there were three that were uh, where ALPRs played a vital role in catching the murder suspects. Um, so for that system to work, we really have to be on the same system. So ultimately, for the sheriff's office, if Eugene Police and Springfield Police are going a different direction, going with a different vendor, then it doesn't make sense for us to do something different. So at the most basic level, that's the core reason why for the sheriff's office, it never made sense for us to be on a different system to begin with. So depending on where other partner agencies go, then that's likely what we'll look at. But for now, certainly with Eugene and Springfield police departments ending their contracts with Flock, it just doesn't make sense for the county to spend its resources that way going forward either.
Gotcha. And I know, I believe Gold asked you this yesterday, that you guys had 22 cameras that had yet to be installed. What's kind of the plan with those, or is that something that you can share?
Yeah, I don't have the full details on, what cancellation looks like. The paperwork essentially. So our original contract was for 22 cameras over 2 years, really on a trial basis. So of those cameras, we had not installed a single one. We were still engaging with our community members, our rural cities, and determining the best use and best placement of those. But we had not installed any prior to today. So, it's we're in a little bit different situation from Eugene and Springfield in that we don't have cameras that are up and were operational. We never installed any cameras to begin with.
Gotcha. And then another thing mentioned in the release that I was just kind of hoping to hear more about was uh, you guys are anticipating that the 2026 state legislative session is going to be addressing ALPR cameras. Could you kind of explain how that factored into the decision as well?
Yeah, that's another big factor. A lot of times when new technologies come out, there's in any realm, but in the law enforcement realm, there's new technologies that'll come out, and oftentimes it takes a little bit for the laws to catch up. So agencies, determine best practices based on existing law and existing case law. But it is always helpful to have some direction from the state level. Um, and it also may influence, if the state passes laws that a certain vendor doesn't meet, then that wouldn't be an option. So having some direction or knowing that some direction is coming from the state level may end up determining future decisions as well, both on ALPRs generally, a specific product, and certainly our policies. We want our policies in line with state law. Um, so those are all factors that we have to look at and consider. And knowing that the state legislation is looking at it right now is another reason to see what that decision is going to be, what the details of that decision is going to be.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you. Just kind of a last thing. Is there anything that you want to make sure gets either addressed about flock cameras, LCSO's contract with them, or otherwise that maybe you didn't get to touch on that you want to make sure gets said?
Yeah, I think the the for the sheriff's office, given our lack of resources, we have really seen the benefit of this technology I mentioned there's been at least three murderers that ALPR has played a vital role in capturing that we quite frankly may not have even known who the suspects were or where they were. Um, so the benefit to our residents in a county of our size and with only three deputies and a sergeant on a shift, it's proven its effectiveness. But at the same time, we want to work with our communities. We want to make sure that anything that we use for as an investigative tool meets our standards, meets our high standards of privacy, and good use of money for our community to keep our communities safe. And that's why prior to this, we'd been talking with and engaging with our communities um, in the conversation, and we'll continue to do that moving forward.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you for your time, Sergeant Wallace. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I appreciate you taking time to talk to us.
Yep, you as well.